welcome to ProLight in Sound 2030. We're on the music group booth. I'd like to show you some of the news from Behringer. So the X32 family has explored to 5 products now. We have 4 new products filling all the gaps from a pure processing engine, the X32 core, and a rack mount unit which has a complete user interface for a complete front panel mixing, but of course it's supposed to be remote controlled in the first place, rack mount. 2 project mixes to a very compact form of the X32 to the full flagship console. So you have all gradual sizes.
So what would somebody use the X32 core for? What I'm interested to understand how that, because that's just the mix engine, right?
Yes, it's just the mix engine, and it's not just one application that you can think of in this with this unit, but it's a whole range of applications that is possible. Could be starting from a project studio where, for example, you're using this basically as a very sophisticated audio interface for running 32 channels of audio into your computer, and then have one line to your recording room with a couple of stage boxes, S16s. You could hook up like 6 stage boxes to one unit here, which makes 96 channels of inputs that you could connect to the core. Of course, the mixing engine is the same as the X32. You get basically 32 fully equipped microphone channels that can be mixed, plus aux ins, plus effects returns. Can be mixed on 25 buses. All the internal effects is exactly the same as on the X32.
Oh, and it comes with this as standard as well, right?
Yes, it comes with the interface card for 32 channels via USB. And all the digital connectivity is also the same as on the X32. So you can connect via AES-50 to other digital consoles. For example, if you're doing a separate broadcast mix for a live stream in a live environment, you could run a show with the X32 and use the same signals for having a separate mix on the broadcasting output. But as I said, there's a wealth of applications thinkable, like from a very small project studio to a broadcast submixer to installed sound for hotels, for example. We have a couple of user assignable controls here, like continuous controls and buttons to recall specific scenes. So a very restricted user interface that is customizable by the system integrator when hotels are setting up several rooms with several separated I/Os. They can control everything from one Technics room and have remote control applications on Macintosh, PC or Linux computers.
So this is a replication of kind of the I/O, the interface for the X32 in software, right?
Yes, exactly. It covers the complete functionality of the X32. This runs on Macintosh, PCs, on Linux computers. And of course it's free of charge. You can download it from the website. It's also very interesting to download it and just see what the console can do.
Do you think it would run on a Raspberry Pi?
I don't know, to be honest.
That'd be interesting, because I mean it's HDMI out, you could just, and Ethernet, you might be able to. So can you MIDI control aspects of this as well?
There's a limited sort of MIDI control. On one hand, we can of course use the remote control functionality, where the console is emulating Mackie HUI or Mackie control or HUI protocols, or you could assign individual
those
buttons. Yeah, they can have MIDI meaning if you wish. For example, sorry.
Like on the X32 you can learn and assign.
Yeah, I can assign specific MIDI commands to an encoder or to a button. That could be used, and in the other direction you could call up a scene via MIDI and things like that. But of course the total set of parameters is too big from the X32, so our way of controlling the X32 is OC, which is much more powerful than MIDI.
And of course we've got the rack as well, which is, you've got the interface as well, so right?
Yeah, I just mentioned it very briefly. This is a very nifty unit in a way, because it has all the user interface and the physical I/Os. So you get, in a very small rack form factor, you get a huge processing power and all the flexibility to take this from your home studio recording environment to a rehearsal or to a live environment where this sits in your side rack together maybe with the amplifiers, and the musicians on stage have their own iPads for controlling the mix, or at least their monitor mix. So there's a huge range of applications also for this.
Is that possible, iPad control directly of the X32 then, or is it? Of course it is,
yes,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, you see, we have the Ethernet remote control, and this is running the OSC protocol that I mentioned earlier on. And if you hook up a Wi-Fi router directly, so there's no additional computer needed, just a Wi-Fi router, and then you connect to your iPad or iPhone.
Of course, when I reviewed the X32, it wasn't available at the time, so that's why I've forgotten about it.
Okay, yeah.
So, is it possible to quickly just have a look at the smaller format?
Absolutely,
as well?
yes.
So
that's the X32 producer. And very similar to the rack, which I just mentioned, this is meant to be traveling from your home studio to a rehearsal room, doing live gigs. This is a real versatile form factor, and it's still got the full X32 processing power. And of course, you've got the flying faders that you know already. We squeezed everything from the user interface into 19-inch, so we lose the channel LCDs from the bigger consoles. Of course, there's some compromise to the form factor, but the power of the unit is exactly the same as the X32. So you can do everything from a very small thing at home to a large production. There's no limits. And something very special, we just launched at this PLS show 2013, is the collaboration with Traction. You know that Traction used to be distributed by Mackie for a couple of years, but is now separated. And we allow Behringer customers, for all of the products that have some computer-based recording applications, will be allowed to download a free Traction version.
So you've got a full multi-track recording straight out the bottom.
Exactly.
And there's one other model, right? Is there?
Yeah, that's the X32. The X32 Compact, as the name says, is just a more compact version of the X32. It's still got the scribble strip displays. It's got the moving faders, of course.
And no rotary encoders and the MIDI side of it?
Yes, the assigned section is a little bit smaller because we wanted to make it more compact, obviously.
Is this still Huey, and this part still do the Huey and the Mackie emulation?
Yes, it does. We have the DAW remote function, and then this section would be losing all the local audio control and just control the DAW remotely.
Are these all available now? I mean, when are they going to be shipping, do you think?
The Compact is actually the first to be shipping. We are starting pre-production maybe in 2 weeks, by the end of this month. Mass production will be following in May, so with another 6 weeks of shipments. By the end of June, July, we should have them in the stores. And those will, the producer will probably follow 4 to 6 weeks later. And the other two will be in between, so the core is probably next after the X32 Compact.
So in terms of I/O on this, have we still got digital?
Yeah, all the digital connectivity is exactly the same as on X32. We got the option card. We got a USB and Ethernet for remote control. We got MIDI I/O, the AES EBU output, alternate output for 16-channel personal monitoring, separate from all the other outputs that I use on the console, plus the dual AES50 output with SuperMac.
And what about card options? What's coming up and what's available now for the expansion card?
The card options, currently we have only the XUF card and USB card coming up with the rack versions. And we are also working on Dante and MADI cards. We will use part of the cards that had been developed for Midas already and use their modules in our interface. That will be coming up very soon also. And there's another USB recording card coming up that we are conceiving towards.
You can plug a drive in and just record.
Exactly, yeah. That has been improved already, and that will be able. Originally, we intended it to be 24-track recording, but we are very confident we can do 32-track recording directly on hard disk without any computer in it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you.